The Golden Cobra is a BBC comedy that is a one-of-a-kind animated series. The show is hilarious and balances plot, comedy and style in an incredibly modern way.
He better not think I'm paying that ugly child of his as well.
Hello and welcome to Comedy Gems, where I go digging to find less known comedies and review it. In this episode we are going to be covering the BBC Three cult comedy spin-off from the YouTube series The Veil, The Golden Cobra. Spoilers ahead. Style. This style of animation is something that is important for the show, and it is why it feels so fresh amongst the backdrop of BBC comedies. Its style of animation feels similar to the early internet animation that covered sites like YouTube and Newgrounds. When I first watched it, I was in complete shock that it was on BBC rather than Channel 4 or Adult Swim. The style feels like some sort of short that would be on Adult Swim's channel, with its deeply experimental take on animation. Rather than focusing on the overall detailed characters and scene, it looks like the whole show has been drawn on MS Paint. Now, that isn't a bad thing, as even though the drawings are simple, they are unique and do hook you in. Plot. The TV series follows everyone working for the curry house named the Golden Cobra in the Welsh town of EBW, Vale. Working for the curry house, you have the takeaway driver, Nick, who is working the job after leaving prison after he committed a crime, which details of get sprinkled out throughout the series. Nick has a son who he is slightly neglectful for, but he clearly loves and is trying to make the effort. The Golden Cobra is owned by the Abbasi family. This includes the father, Basil Abbasi, personally my favourite character in the whole show, and he's the owner of this failing curry house. The mother, Samiti Abbasi, who works at the secondary school where her daughter goes to. The daughter, Mona Abbasi, who is a teenager who goes to school. And finally you have the son, Job something Abbasi, the fat goofball of the family. Through all the characters you get to dive into all the different parts of this town. It's grim shit and bizarre. I felt when watching it relating to it a lot too. The moments in school reminded me of the strange characters I would always meet in the playground, and also partially a bit about me. The plot isn't too important, but helps push the show along, and it's more like a sitcom than anything, with the plot not really seeming to have a huge dent, and at the end of each episode the story just seems like an average day that they just forget about. Comedy. I love the show, and even though that's obvious because I am reviewing it, I think it needs to be said.
Oh my god, it's good now! Oh my god!
The comedy is brilliant, but what helps it and underlines all the scenes are the voice actors.
Now to finish writing the last letter of this word, leaving me free to inspect the remainder of the kitchen.
This show has true talent in it, and you can see that if you just have a brief look at the cast. You have voice actors like Stuart Ashen, David Firth, and Jeff Mizar. These episodes are incredibly short. Each episode is 12 to 14 minutes long, and the laughs are perfectly disposed throughout each episode. It feels short, sweet, but satisfying to watch. The first series contains 8 episodes, and this might make you want to binge it, and I've got to say, that's what you should do. This show is perfect to binge. It's short, it's great, and I feel once you're in a role with them, you get more and more invested with the characters, the small amount of plot, and the brilliant comedy throughout all the episodes. The comedy in the series is edgy but never uncomfortable. It's never mean, but it is just sometimes gory or depressing. And like all good things in this series, it's perfectly balanced. It doesn't just feel like a show cooked up by an edgy 12-year-old on Reddit. It's mature with its approach to comedy. Just by watching the opening to the pilot, you get a feeling for what the show might be, with the gory death of a rodent, the dry comedy, and the strange characters. Final comment. This TV series, even though it's a must-watch, I have to rate it 8 out of 10. The only issue I really have with the series is the small amount of episodes. I really hope that there will be another series, because I really love this show and I felt that this series did not have enough episodes in it. Each episode is short, and that's fair, but there is just such a lack of them. So it would be lovely to see more of it. Please subscribe if you're interested in reviews into unheard comedies that are amazing, strange and mad.